Hey everyone, I'm the Rev, and at long last Assetto Corsa Evo is here. So, I spent a good bit of last night streaming the game, and I thought I'd give you a quick review and see whether it's worth your hard-earned money. So without any messing about, let's get into it. So the game released onto Steam. It was a little bit late, but it released in what Kunos is calling the first early access. So what do you get for your £26.39? Or $19.99 if you're happy to purchase the game via CD keys, for example? Well, you get 20 cars, 15 of which are road cars and 5 race cars. You get 5 locations: Suzuka, Laguna Seca, Brands Hatch, Imola and Bathurst. So once you take into account alternative layouts, that's 8 tracks in total. At the time of recording the video, you have a quick race and a practice mode open to you, that's all. At this moment in time, there's an issue with the Academy. The online servers were not up and running at the time of making the video, so we've not been able to try the Academy. Kunos say they are working on a fix and expect it to be done relatively quickly, but we have no timescale. There is a replay mode at the end of the races, as you can see, but unfortunately at this moment in time you can't save the replays. Now on the first boot up of the game, you do get shown the content roadmap, which I'll put on screen for you now. As you can see, we're in the first early access, and the second early access is said to add even more features. 5 new cars, the circuit of the Americas, as well as concentrating on the VR support, which I'm told at this moment in time is not particularly good, but I have no experience of it myself, I'm only reporting what I've been told. So that's what you get for forking out your do-re-mi. The game at this moment in time is the cheapest it will ever be, so I've paid £26.39 for all the content between now and version 1. So for the next part, I'm going to split it up into 4 sections: graphics, sound, feel and bugs before I give you the verdict. So on to the graphics. The graphics, as you can see, are absolutely awesome. The detail on the car models is fantastic, and these car models look to be up there with the best from Polyphony Digital, and that's the highest praise that I can give Kunos, because they are, in my opinion, the best car models in racing games. The lighting is absolutely fantastic, with the DirectX global illumination system working really well with fantastic light bounce. The cars are seated fantastically well in the world, with beautiful materials, reflections and lighting response from those materials. It's absolutely beautiful to look at. In terms of performance, it is heavy, very heavy on the GPU. At this moment in time, I'm running a 7800 X3D and an RTX 4090, and my GPU utilisation is at 97%. Granted, that's for 100 frames per second, but it is massively high, and my hardware was having to work hard to keep up. At the time of making the video, we don't have any specific NVIDIA drivers, so I am expecting that performance to improve, as I expect the performance to improve as we move down the line with further patches and refinements from Kunos. Graphically, I couldn't have been more impressed. I love the volumetric lighting, I love the time of day system, and the racing at night in the rain. That was just one of the best things I've ever seen graphically. That was worth the entry fee. The racing at night was absolutely stunning, really nice to look at. I am told that if you're buying this specifically for VR, that the VR is not in a good place at this moment in time. People are reporting getting the likes of 45 frames per second on a 4090, so I don't think the VR is in a good place, so maybe it's better to hold off unless you want to get the game at a cheaper price now, because it's the cheapest it will ever be. So we move on to the sound. Now this is a topic that's relatively short. The onboard sounds are fantastic. You get fantastic little pops and bangs, you get gurgles on the downshifts. All the cars that I tried sounded great, from the little Alpine to the 992 Porsche Cup, which sounded fantastic. In the chase cam, the cars sounded decent enough too, but I think that from the replay cameras, they could do with a little bit more punch in my opinion, so I'm hoping that that's something that'll be refined over time. So, onboard, great. TV cams could do with a little bit more punch for the Rev. So let's move on to the all-important feel and physics. Well, the force feedback was absolutely amazing from 95% of the cars that I drove. I've driven every car in the game now, and I would say that the force feedback is second to none. For me, it's fantastic. I got fantastic detail through the steering wheel, detail from the road surface. There was bumps in tracks that I felt on Assetto Corsa Evo that I'd never felt on another sim before, especially the last corner at Brands. There was a bump on entry that I'd never felt in any other sim, so it was fantastic to feel these new little details. The force feedback gave me great information in terms of the weight of the car and what it was doing, where it was being thrown, and great suspension travel. And one of the great things for me was driving the Hyundai i30N, which I owned in real life and drove on a track. And on this game, for the first time, I could feel the limited slip differential working. I could feel one of the front wheels grip up and drag me through the apex of the turn. Absolutely fantastic, really good feeling. So for me, the force feedback starts from such a good place. It's unbelievable, and it can only get better and improve from here. So Kunos, I'd take my hat off to you boys because you've done a stellar job. I think it's great. Not every car was fantastic. The Ferrari 488, I felt a little bit off. I don't know what it was, but the nose of that car couldn't really get it to do what I wanted to do, so that felt a tiny bit off for me. Obviously, I've never driven a 488 Challenge, that might be how it feels, I don't know, but it felt just a touch off to me. Also, the Escort RS Cosworth, that just felt a little bit dead and a little bit vague. Don't know what it was about that car, but I just didn't get the same kind of feeling as I did from the other cars. Oh, I should point out that I haven't driven any of the electric cars because I just don't care about them, so I didn't drive them. So overall, the force feedback feel and physics from the Rev is top notch. For me, it's brilliant and I can't wait to see it improve. Now, with it being an early access game, how did we do with bugs? Well, I had 2 crashes in about a 4-hour gameplay session, so I'll take that, that's not bad. We did have a few other bugs. There was some trees popping into view, lighting and shadows popping in and out every now and again on different tracks. The look behind button, could not get that to work. No matter what I pressed, it wouldn't look behind, it would just sort of flash the screen and I'd still be looking forwards. There was replay bugs as well, again visual bugs with the trees, with the shadows, but again, as it's early access, for me, this was to be expected. I also had a specific bug with the replays on Brands Hatch, whereas the longer I left the game on, the more my frames per second would decrease over time, so it ended up where I started with 100 and by the time the replay finished I was on 30 frames per second. The frames per second just deteriorated over time. While we're at it, just a very quick word on the AI. You could have a decent race with the AI, decent enough, but sometimes it would be what I would describe as erratic. It would brake in random places and it was still happy to pit manoeuvre you off. I would say it's a little bit better than the original Assetto Corsa, but there's still work to be done. So, with all that out of the way, what's the verdict? Well, in the Rev's opinion, and it's my honest opinion, it's worth the money. It's worth the £26 that I paid, and it's worth the £20 you can get it for on CD keys. This is the cheapest this game is ever going to be, and it's only going to get better from here. And if this is the starting point, then we're already in a fantastic place moving forward. Yes, it's performance heavy, but like I say, get some Nvidia drivers under our belt and a few more patches, and I'm expecting that to come down. I actually trust Kunos to make things better. They did it with Assetto Corsa Competizione, so I have no doubts that they'll do it again here with what is their baby. I thoroughly enjoyed the game for the 4 hours or so that I streamed it, and I'm really looking forward to features being added over time. Now, early access isn't for everyone, but at the end of the day, for a small entry fee, I've got to play Assetto Corsa Evo now, and I just get to see it evolve. So for me, it was worth it. If you have any questions about Assetto Corsa Evo, do let me know in the comments section below, and I'll try to answer them. If you jump into the Discord, I'll answer them there. Please do like and subscribe if you like the video, as it helps me out massively. As always, I've been the Reverend, and I'm going to get back on the game. Thanks for watching.